Good morning, everybody. Hey, Amazon. Give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, getting your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. Influenced by worries about the price of everything from housing to food to fuel, Americans are going to the polls today. Access to abortion is also a significant issue after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. On this midterm election day, 36 governorships will be decided. All 435 House seats are on the line and 35 Senate seats are in play. One of the hottest, most closely watched, and most expensive Senate races is in the state of Pennsylvania. NPR's Windsor Johnston has details.
Democrats are hoping to flip the state's open Senate seat, which has been held by a Republican for more than a decade. Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman has picked up the endorsements of President Biden and former President Barack Obama. Fetterman has been locked in a tight race with celebrity TV show host Dr. Mehmet Oz, a Republican who has the support of former President Donald Trump. Both candidates, who have spent millions of dollars on attack ads, have spent the last week crisscrossing the state to make a last-minute appeal to voters. The Pennsylvania race could be key in helping Democrats retain control of the evenly split Senate. Windsor Johnston, NPR News.
Kentucky voters are casting ballots on a constitutional amendment to restrain challenges to abortion restrictions from member station WFPL in Louisville. April Rickard reports.
Amendment 2 would add language saying there is no right to an abortion under the Kentucky Constitution. That would mean the state's Republican-controlled legislature would decide abortion access, and courts would be prevented from interpreting a right to abortion using the state's fundamental
Biden
legal
could
document.
fix that when he got
Special
elected.
interest groups on both sides of the debate have been campaigning for months to get voters to the polls on this
All
issue.
this time later,
In Kentucky, abortions are banned in
with
most cases
protests,
as legal challenges to state
parades
laws
in the
continue.
street.
The state Supreme Court is
And we're
expected to
still
hear
here.
oral arguments next week in one of those cases. For NPR News, I'm April Rickard in Louisville.
What is the environmental impact of warfare in Ukraine? The answer is unfolding in the brutal reality of once fertile and now scorched land and an atmosphere choked with the carbon emissions of 21st century weaponry. Polish President Andrzej Duda spoke today at the International COP27 conference, this year meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt.
Our transformation is much more difficult, among other things, due to Russia's criminal aggression against Ukraine, which has inflicted enormous human losses, caused damage to Ukraine's infrastructure, economy, and environment.
They've been doing it
Losses
for years.
which the Russian perpetrators should be held accountable and which they should cover.
He called upon Western allies to decrease their dependence on Russian fossil fuels. Dow futures up 100. This is NPR. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments today in a case out of Indiana. At issue is whether nursing home residents and people on Medicaid can sue states if they believe their rights have been violated. Farah Yusri with member station WFYY reports.
The case centers around an Indiana man whose family claims was mistreated at a state-owned nursing facility. Marion County's Health and Hospital Corporation is expected to argue that Medicaid beneficiaries should not be allowed to bring civil rights lawsuits against states. Legal experts and patient advocates caution that a ruling in favor of the Public Health Agency could strip tens of millions of vulnerable Americans of their power to hold states accountable for their denied coverage or benefits. Supporters of the state agency argue oversight should be left up to states and the federal government. A decision on the
It
case
should
may
be
come
left
as
to
late as
anyone that
next
catches a
June.
glimpse.
For NPR
Anyone
News,
walking
I'm
by
Farah
sees the
Yusri.
abuse. You freaking idiot.
Subtropical storm Nicole is on the move, heading for the northwestern Bahamas and Florida's Atlantic coast. A hurricane watch is in effect for the Atlantic coast of Florida from Brevard County to Broward County, as well as the Lake Okeechobee area. The
If
weather
you see
system
someone
is
getting
expected
abused
to
in a
become
nursing
a rare
home, it don't
November
matter
hurricane, says
who
the
you
National
are or
Hurricane
what your
Center, due to
position
the
is.
warmth
You
of
say
the
something.
ocean. Forecasters say Election Day will not be disrupted, but ultimately Nicole appears to be shaping up to become a very large storm. A storm surge watch extends
to me
from
like
Broward
those people
County, Florida, north to halfway up Georgia's
Deserve to get
coast.
chewed out by the
I'm
judge
Louise Schiavone,
for
NPR
saying that
News,
somebody
Washington.
couldn't say something.
Support for this NPR podcast and the following message come from the UPS Store.
In fact,
This upcoming
it would be
holiday,
nice if
the
the judge
UPS
threw a
Store
nice
is open
fine
and
on
here to
there
help.
for 'em.
The one stop right around the corner, everything
trying
you
to
need
aid
so
and
you can be
abet in the
unstoppable
abuse
store. The UPS Store.
by letting
Individual
the client
store hours may
go
vary by
slap on
location.
the hand. The
In
abuser,
NASA
I mean.
news, NASA will provide coverage of the upcoming pre-launch and launch activities for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's NOAA's Joint Polar Satellite System 2, JPSS-2, mission and NASA's low Earth orbit flight test of an inflatable decelerator, LOFTIC, technology demonstration.
Loft technology. Lofty.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson named Dr. Jimmy Kenyon director of the agency's Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, effective immediately.
Named him what?
A Northrop Grumman Cygnus resupply spacecraft is on its way to the International Space Station with more than 8,200 pounds of science investigations and cargo after launching
You know,
at
that's weird.
5:27 a.m. EST Monday
So,
from NASA's Wallops Flight
In
Facility
that
in Virginia.
cargo that they launched, they have
NASA and the U.S. Agency for
reproductive
International
stuff from a
Development,
cow.
USAID, signed an
they have
agreement
a
Friday
3D
strengthening the
printer
collaboration between the
that
two
can
agencies,
print
including
human
efforts that
tissue.
advance the federal
What the hell
response
are
to
they
climate
doing on that
change.
space station research, man?
NASA will participate in the 27th United Nations Climate Change Conference of the Parties, 27 Colombian pesos, in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, which begins Sunday, November 6th and runs through Friday, November 18th. The COP27 summit brings together countries from around the world to increase ambition by implementing existing goals and strengthening commitments to solutions. In weather. In Seattle, it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit
Cloudy,
with cloudy
chance of rain.
skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 43 degrees
Oh,
and a
no
low
rain.
of 32 degrees.
It's wet
From
outside.
NASA.
All right.
NASA will
Amazon
provide coverage of the
off. Amazon, tell us a good joke.
How many campers does it take to light a lantern?
Campers.
One to pour the fuel, another to pump the tank, a third to light the match, and a fourth to say, forget it, just get a flashlight.
How is that a good joke? Amazon, tell us a bad joke.
What do Keanu Reeves and Baby Yoda have in common? They age at the same rate.
Keanu Reeves just got freaking slapped by the Alexa. Jesus. Anyway. I don't know if she'll do this. She probably won't. Amazon, tell us a dirty joke. Kids, cover your ears.
Why was the garden so stinky? Because the gardener pooped his plants.
Okay, that's terrible. We're done. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.